Hello, Evolve. It's such a great pleasure to be with you today. You know, the commitment that you've made to the Hope movement makes you perfectly positioned to take advantage of what Harvard Business Review is predicting to be the most dynamic, powerful, purposeful business model of the 21st century. It's called social entrepreneurship or social business. And you know, today it's the most sought after curriculum in business schools worldwide, as an entire generation of young people are flocking to social business for their careers because they want their lives to account for more than just a paycheck. And that's the benefit of a social business. You know, I ran a charity for 16 years, and what I've discovered is that the charity model does not provide sustainable funding. So social business became the best solution for creating sustainable funding for my organization. So for the last 5 years, I've put a great amount of study into what makes a successful social business. The best template I found was published in Inc. magazine in a cover article entitled 6 Ways to Change the World, a Practical Guide to Social Entrepreneurship. And it said the model works best when one or more of these 3 criteria are involved. Number 1, you make a direct link between your consumer and your cause. And they said the best way to do that is the buy one, give one model. And they used Tom's shoes as an example. So in other words, every time you buy a pair of Tom's shoes, a child somewhere gets a pair of shoes that's in need of a pair of shoes. So the consumer doesn't have to wonder what's going on, what percentage is given. It's just, I buy a pair of shoes, they get a pair of shoes. So 1 for 1 is the best model to connect the consumer. Number 2, sell into a mass market demand. In other words, the bigger the market demand, the bigger sustainable impact you can make on a social problem. And then finally, number 3, they said the product that you sell should be the trigger for social change. In other words, find a mass market need, produce or create an innovative, proprietary new product solution for that market. Again, that gives you sustainability in the marketplace. And you know, when I look at Evolve, I look and see how perfectly positioned you are for that. You know, the biggest concerns in health today and wellness are 3 areas. People are too sick, they're too tired, and they're too overweight. And if you had products that could provide sustainable relief to those issues, it would be any one of those would be the basis for a phenomenal business. But you guys are already addressing all 3, only we're just going to do it better. You know, what's interesting is science has shown us that there's one common denominator between those 3 categories. It's caused by poor gut health, and it's called chronic inflammation. Sound familiar to you guys? Well, chronic inflammation is connected to every non-communicable disease that exists out there in the marketplace. And interestingly enough, it's also connected directly to the issue of being overweight or obese. See, what chronic inflammation does is it inhibits your fat-burning hormones from working. Hormones are molecules that send signals to your brain, and in this case, telling your brain to burn fat efficiently for fuel. It's just a normal part of physiology. But inflammation reduces the effectiveness of those hormones. So what happens? You got plenty of fat-burning hormones in the system telling your brain to burn fat. Your brain doesn't hear the signal. And there's no amount of dieting or exercise that can overcome that problem. So what happens? People go on a diet, they lose weight, but it comes back with a vengeance. Why? Because until you address the root cause of the inflammatory response to your fat-burning hormones, you got no chance of a sustainable impact. So what if Evolve was dedicated to solving that problem? I mean, what if we created the first whole food-based product that was convenient to eat, tasted good, and addressed the issue of reducing the risk of chronic inflammation while rebooting your fat-burning hormones, so that consumers could achieve sustainable fat loss results? I mean, wouldn't that be incredible? And what if every time a consumer bought a bar, the company was willing to make a donation of the same type of whole food nutritional support to the world's most vulnerable children in our effort to solve the problem of childhood malnutrition? That's called a social business deluxe, doing something like that, because it incorporates all three of the components of what Inc. magazine said were necessary to have a successful business. So we're going into the biggest market in America, the most underserved market, which is the market of obesity and overweight, with this unique product. 75% of the people in this country are overweight or obese. So that's a massive market to go into with a very unique proprietary solution, something that no one else is doing. So we think we have the potential of making a huge impact in the marketplace. The last question about social entrepreneurship is, what is the best form of distribution? Because the social business model is primarily focused on retail distribution. Again, there was a great book that I read called Social Entrepreneurship, What Everybody Needs to Know, by an author named David Bornstein. And he talked about the evolution of this exciting new business model, and not only where it's been, but where it's going. And he said, it started off with Social Entrepreneurship 1.0. That was the recognition that entrepreneurs were willing to dedicate their skill sets, their businesses to solving social problems. Social Entrepreneurship 2.0 was connecting those social entrepreneurs with companies that had significant amounts of infrastructure so they could proliferate their ideas around the world. And that's typically where it goes into mainstream retail. But the author said the next evolutionary step of social business will be Social Entrepreneurship 3.0. And that's the companies that are capable of building platforms that allow all people to participate and profit from social business ideas by building teams of teams that can help proliferate your message and your technology into the marketplace. Now, why would it take teams of teams and the ability to let all people to participate? Because global change of this magnitude has never been facilitated by institutions or by governments. Significant change has always come through people movements. So allowing all people to participate and profit from social business is the end game of social business. So our goal is to create the first social business 3.0 plan for addressing the number one issue that people deal with in terms of health risk in this country and around the world. So here's our goal. 5 to 6 million children a year die of acute malnutrition in the world. Can we, through this model, get to those children is a good question. Let me give you some perspective. 1.4 billion people on this planet are estimated to be overweight or obese. What if we had the best solution for that problem, the most sustainable? Our goal is to introduce it to 1/3 of 1% of that market. That would be 7 million consumers. What if we could link 7 million consumers to the needs of 7 million children? Let me tell you something, that would be the most dynamic social business that the world has ever seen. And I think we can do it. So that's our goal. Listen, I know you guys are at your Hope Day today. You're planning your new year. My advice to you is plan big. Let me tell you something, the platform of social business will give you the most incredible place to speak from that you could possibly imagine. It will provide you the opportunity to talk to anybody, anytime, anywhere about truly one of the most incredible business opportunities that exist in the world today. So my prayer for you is that you prosper in everything you commit your hands to this year, and I look forward to meeting you all real soon.